people going to think of our new buttermilk crispy chicken? Let's find out.
It's probably the best sandwich I've ever had.
It's super crispy, but it's also really juicy.
So would you guys come back? Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, here's our card. The location is on the back. It's McDonald's? What? What?
Oh, get out
No way.
Wait, seriously?
Try some buttermilk crispy chicken. It's right around the corner at McDonald's. Buttermilk.
Good morning. Welcome to this week's edition of Ask the Coach here on WCLU. I'm Joe Myers, sitting down with Glasgow head coach Jeff Garman to discuss last night's loss at Greenwood, a 28-12 defeat for the Scotties, which dropped them to 3 wins and 3 losses on the year. And they'll open up district play coming up on Friday at Greene County. Greenwood going to 5-1 with the victory. Jeff, this is a ball game which you guys went into as heavy underdogs. You talked about that in the pregame show last night before the ball game. But I thought overall your kids really played well. I know you were proud of the effort they put forth.
Yeah, I thought going into the game was kind of, this game on our schedules. It's, we knew it was going to be an uphill battle going into it, but. This is a game kind of see where you're at as a football team. And to see, when you're getting ready to go into your district play and see what kind of football you're playing. And I thought, tonight, I think we proved to ourselves more than anybody that we're capable of playing, some really good football. And, a play here or there might change the outcome of the game tonight, but overall, just from an effort standpoint, I thought we really, really, really played well.
You said in the postgame you felt like your team kind of grew up last night.
Well, there was some plays out there last night that, could have went either way, and we didn't panic, and we've shown that all year long. We came back tonight from 14 points and easily could have folded our tent and against a really good team, but the kids battled and at halftime I told them something that we hadn't really done well all year long is get a second half drive coming out after halftime, and the kids rose to the occasion and took the ball and drove right down the field and got points on the board. So there's a lot of positives we can take from this tonight.
I guess one thing you'll look at is as a coaching staff, and I'm sure your players will as well, you racked up 335 total yards on offense and especially played well on offense in the second half, 254 of those yards coming in the second half. But we did miss some scoring opportunities, had a ball that was probably should have been caught, may have been a touchdown if it's caught. Instead it gets intercepted because it got deflected. And just a couple of other opportunities we just couldn't quite pay off down inside the red zone.
Yeah, when we get down in that red zone, that's kind of been a little of an Achilles for us all year long. And I think it kind of goes with this offense. They're going to pinch down. It's tough to run the ball. And then the spacing on the field just shortens up a little bit. And but, we had opportunities. But I thought overall we handled ourselves pretty well, had some plays down there and did score. And the game played out when it's 14-12 and we got some stops there and when they scored and made it 21-12, it kind of put us in a bind at that time. And that last score that they got on us, I was trying to create some turnovers and we were doing some stunts that we normally wouldn't do, and that last touchdown's probably on me, but just thought our kids battled all night long. And if I couldn't name one person in particular because I think it was a collective group of guys that were playing hard, but there was a lot of good plays out there made by the Scotties tonight.
Don't know that these are school records for sure, but we have to think they probably are. Desi Austin threw 53 passes. He completed 28, both of which we think are probably school records. Threw for 269 yards, 2 touchdowns. Did have 2 interceptions, but as we've already said, one of those interceptions really was not his fault. Should have been caught and wound up being caught off a deflection by a defender. But we talked in the postgame last night. Really, the game plan, you said, wasn't to go in to throw the ball 53 times. It's just kind of the way things worked out.
Well, I mean, we knew we were going to have to throw the ball a little bit tonight, and because Greenwood, was just a little bit physically stronger than us up front. But, when you look at it, the big thing is that jumps out at you last night, we were able to run 81 plays. So when you have 81 offensive plays, we still ran the ball 30 times tonight. I mean, and that's about our average of what we've been doing, and we've been throwing it around 25 times. But when you run 81 plays, and I thought we controlled the ball a little better tonight, and I was a little more impressed with our shorter passing game. I thought, I thought there was some improvement made there, and I just thought Desi did a really good job of keeping us poised back there tonight and spreading the ball around. And we had multiple guys with 3 or 4 catches. So when you can spread it around like that, you've got to keep the defense honest. And when we start playing teams that have the same deficiencies as we do in AA football, where you're having to play certain styles of games because Greenwood was strictly platooned across the board, those things are going to come into play for us. And I thought we didn't run the ball poorly tonight. They were just giving us some passing, and we did. And it for 29 for 53, there were some drops along in that. Desi could have easily have been 35 for 53, I think. But there were some tough plays, out there. And they were a physical football team. Even when you catch it on the outside, I mean, they were coming up and, and they were hitting our receivers pretty good after, the tackle. So, overall, I thought we pretty much took good care of the football again. I think they had an interception off of a deflection off one of our receivers, and then another one there. But when you throw it 53 times, that happens every now and then.
Thought Desi did a good job at times of keeping plays alive too, Jeff. His offensive line gave him pretty good time most of the night, but there were times when he had to scramble around back there, and you'd think he was going to tuck it and run, but then all of a sudden he'd continue to be looking downfield. He'd find his 3rd or 4th option on a play, and I thought he did a good job there.
Tonight was the first night I saw him really go through some progressions and look at multiple receivers, on drives, and that's just showing he's just getting better, and he's maturing as a quarterback, and I just think we're maturing as a team overall.
And you mentioned also that he had spread the ball around very well. You had 6 different guys catch a pass tonight, and I know that's something you'd like to see as well, all these guys getting involved.
Well, it makes them play a little harder, number one. When you're getting the ball some, I mean, everybody wants the ball thrown to them. And I thought that was a combination of a lot of hard work out there on the practice field. And it just goes to show you don't ever know when your number's going to get called. And when you spread the ball around, I think they all run those routes a little more crisper. And that's just human nature. And it makes you a lot more. It makes the defense play the entire field, and that's what you want.
Defensively, Greenwood, you allowed Greenwood 323 total yards, 311 on the ground. Really, you knew coming in, though, that they had a strong rushing attack. They were averaging about 260 yards on the ground. And your main focus, I think, at least from us talking, was the quarterback, Jackson Adams. He came in averaging about 150 yards. Until his last run of 43 yards, you guys had held him under 100 yards, and he got that last touchdown that you talked about when you all were stunning a little bit more than maybe you would have because you're trying to create some turnovers. Overall, I thought you did a good job against him. The tailback, Noah Pillow, actually seemed to hurt you a little bit worse than the quarterback, Adams, did.
Yeah, they kind of changed their scheme a little bit especially after the first quarter, going into the second quarter, and you know, they were really trying to get the quarterback established and get him to run the ball, and I think we kind of took that away from them. Thought we played a real good. I thought it was one of our better games, and I thought we had a real good week of practice on defense where it seemed like the light bulb went off on some guys, and we played pretty good, solid team defense all the way through till the very end. And a little bit of that was on me. I was trying to create some turnovers and trying to catch a mesh point and trying to get them to turn the ball over. But overall, thought the defense played well. That quarterback, he's an elusive runner, runs well, and you know the tailback they got's not too shabby either. And like I said, they kind of changed their scheme, and instead of going to an option look, kind of went to a belly look, and they were faking it to the fullback and then giving it to the tailback, and the quarterback kind of took himself out of the play. Or, I mean, I guess the coaches may have been calling it that way. I don't know, but their tailback was a lot more involved tonight than what he usually is.
You played your first game without Dalvin Smith tonight. We talked in the pregame. It looks like Dalvin could possibly be out for the rest of the year with an injury. I mean, how do you think the team responded to Dalvin not being out there? Where did you miss him, you think?
Well, you know, we addressed it as a team, and you know, Dalvin will go to the doctor next week, and you know, he'll make the decision on when Dalvin gets to come back. But you know, as a team, you know, we understand in team sports that's just part of it, and the next man has to step up, and losing Dalvin's like losing 4 players. I mean, he was an important part of our offense, he was an important part of our defense, and he was an important part of our special teams. And you know, we'll get a little bit more practice time this week. Looking at it, if he's not able to come back this week, and we'll go from there. But you know, Dalvin will be sorely missed when he's not out there. He's a kid that loves to play football, and gives his all when he's out there, and he'll be sorely missed. And you know, any of our players, you know, football is a game that, you know, injuries occur, and some years you go through it, and nobody pretty much seems like they have anything major happen to them. And you know, this year we've had a couple of kids banged up, and you know, and even take a kid like Alex Richardson, who would have been a senior and would have had a great senior year, and an injury from last year kept him from playing this year. And kids like that, you know, those are tragic situations. And you know, hopefully we get another starter back next week, and you know, like I said, you know, Alex's situation is unique in the fact that he lost his senior year over an injury, and that's a hard pill to swallow. You know, even as disappointed as I was, you know, talking to Dalvin's mother, she said, "Coach, you still got him for 2 more years." And I thought, well, you know, that is true. We're truly blessed.
We'll come back in just a moment and take a look at the drive chart from last night's game. We're back after this on WCLU Sports.